They're going to have they have a program coming up. David Bentley, Chautauqua County Drug Force. They're the people that go crashing in on the drug houses and bust everybody and put them in jail, and it costs you $80,000 a year to keep them in jail. And before the cop cars are out of sight, they're new people on the street anyway. So I'm not sure exactly how effective these drug forces are, but they're very expensive. Who makes money from drugs? The lawyers. Yeah, they're defending people constantly. They make $100. They make thousands and billions over the country every year defending the drugs. Drug people call it the drugs, it's pot or whatever it might be. In the meantime, who makes the laws for drugs? The lawyers. Hey, they're not gonna change the laws in any way. They're making too much money, and everybody else, I might add, gets a cut of it. You know what happened to the very famous drug bust in New York? What was the name of that? The Gene Hackman was in it. At any rate, it was.
Conversation.
What was it?
Conversation.
No, it was a drug bust years ago. They had tons of drugs they brought in, they collected, and they all disappeared. Police sold them.
French Connection.
French Connection, yeah. All that huge amount of drugs they had was taken into police custody, and it disappeared, just like that.
True story.
Multi-million dollars, tens of millions worth of drugs disappeared. Everybody's making money, guys, excepting you and me. They're taxing the hell out of us to pay for all this drug force stuff, And we've lost the war on drugs, believe me, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. There are more drugs on the streets today, and they're cheaper than they ever were before. And you got to do something other than just keep busting a few people. Cut it out. Enough said about the drugs, which we are losing the drug war. We have lost it already. We lost it before Nixon declared. Nixon, back in the 70s, he declared the war on drugs. It's the longest war we've ever had and the most lost war we've ever had. And the most expensive, I might add. They spend billions of dollars every year on this nonsense. Hello, Joy Kurtz. She dropped around. An old friend, nice kid, too. Next meeting of the Mayville seniors will be February 2nd, and they always meet at the Mayville VFW, which is down at the foot of the hill, around the bend, up towards just a little bit to the down the lake, and you'll see it. It's a beautiful place. They have a gazebo. They have everything. A huge place. They have cooks, and they have a beautiful kitchen, a huge meeting house. Oh, you can't go wrong. Silver Creek. They have Ed Newman is the president over there. Long serving, suffering presidents. I don't know, presidents of senior clubs. They don't get paid anything. They just put a lot of time and do the work. And Silver Creek has a special, beautiful little place. It's right at the intersection of Route 5 and 20, right near there. It's a lovely place, and they own it. They take care of it themselves. President Newman visited John Kresick, and he's doing well. He said, remember me. I wanted to mention one thing. Bingo over there was called by Myra Smith, of course. Happy birthday over there to all those beautiful people who are having a birthday this week. Incidentally, they sent some dough over to the food pantry. A lot of senior money goes to food pantries, various things, taking care, and they all belong to RSVP, which is a service group that takes care of all the seniors out there. I mean, it doesn't work for seniors only. They take care of kids, middle-aged, anybody you know. All right, the next meeting is coming up January 17th. No, they were read by January 17th. Next meeting comes up soon. It'll be January 31st, and it's at 1 p.m., and it's a pizza party. Hey, who can't turn down pizza? Best bread you ever ate. Sheridan has a huge bunch, and Evan Settle does a job there. And guess who showed up? Catherine Young. She's our state senator, and she's very active up here and brings a lot of dough into the county. I'll admit that. She puts in about 70,000 miles a year driving around the county. Can you believe it? Yeah, she's always there. She's around, and God bless Kathy Young. She's the most active senator we've ever had, and at least she tries. She puts out some dough. She gets some grants, and she's really working very hard for us. I think I voted for her last election. February 3rd, the group will meet at noon for soup and sandwich lunch. Milt Greenrich and Griven and Gene Guzik, Betty Kern, and Peg Langer will be doing the job. And now we have, I just got the bell. I am finished with the senior news. They tell me you cannot do any more news because of the fact that we're run out of time. You're finished, Reed. All right. Don't forget the Ice Castle, 18th and 19th. I slipped that in, didn't I? Okay. I've got a public service announcement for you, and I want to thank Jeff Zook for doing the honors here completely by himself. We have a skeleton crew on, and he is a brilliant, brilliant engineer. And here we go. He'll have it on just like that.
Place not so far away, a place where you don't have to keep the volume down. You'll find all sorts of creatures in this place without have to. The silly you, the proud you. You may even meet the curious you.
It's tickling me! You!
Ask your parents to take you to this not so far away place. Come to the forest, where the other you lives. But first, stop by discovertheforest.org.
Hey, discover the forest. Discover the forest. Beautiful. You know, that's the wonderful charm of Chautauqua County, is the acres and acres and thousands and I don't know, millions and billions of acres of forests we have here. Deer hunting, hiking, flower identification, tree identification, the John Lensman Park up there. There's trails cut for you. It's just gorgeous. Right on the lake. It rolls right down to the lake, intercepted by some grapes. Everything from Route 20 to the lake is grapes in the Chautauqua County, Concord mostly, and then a few wine grapes. But yeah, what a place to live. And in the summer, those forests are ablaze with green and flowers and it's just fantastic. Enough raving, Reed. Get on with it. Okay, all right. We have with us a guest, and two guests actually. We have Roy and Karen Harvey, and they're going to talk a little bit about some of the events around Chautauqua County and in the world. They're very perceptive, especially since they are video journalists. They run around with their little camera and probably get arrested and beat up by cops like all the other video people do whenever they don't want you to show. You know, they actually passed a law, and I don't know what state it was. You can't video or take pictures of the police, so you can't collect evidence when they're beating the hell out of some poor guy. Jesus, the things that are going on around here. Anyway, they're here. With no further ado, good morning, Karen. Good morning, Roy. You're on.
Good morning, Reed.
Morning.
So what's new with you? First of all, where do you guys come from? Where were you born and raised?
I'm a fourth-generation Chautauqua County person. My great-grandfather was the mayor of Jamestown
Okay.
long ago, just after the great Mayor Carlson, the original Mayor Carlson, who put in all the many benefits, including public utilities. He even called for public and milk for children in those days.
He had his own witch program.
Well, yeah, he was a socialist. That's what they call it. You know,
People
he
who care
worked
about
for the
other people, yeah.
Government was for the people, of the people, and by the people under his reign. So that's my history. I've been a news journalist for 21 years, 30 including the many places that I worked in Oregon and Seattle, and retired back here, back home, still have family in the area. Met Roy Harvey in Florida, and he was a journalist as well. Most of our career was in Chicago. Roy worked for Mayor Daley as a, well, I'll let him describe what he did in Chicago.
Which Mayor Daley? There's been 2 or 3 generations of Daley out
Rich
there.
Daley, the younger, who
Younger.
just quit and was taken over by Emmanuel Rahm, the city was. But I worked
Right.
as
It was Obama's big boy.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I worked as an investigator for the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, civilian investigator, and then as a reporter, essentially a news person for the city of Chicago for about 17 years, and retired. So I was a public servant, I called myself. I thought of myself as similarly to the people of the nursing home here. So I have a lot of empathy with their plight and with the plight of the attack on labor as essentially public enemy, number one, as opposed to public servant, because that whole switch has been taken place. And
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
we all
across
saw
the
what
county.
happened in, what was it, Minnesota? What was this, where the governor...
Wisconsin.
Right.
Wisconsin decided that he's going to take away all the rights of laborers. Labor,
right.
they can't have any. There are no more labor parties allowed, and throw them all out. He's going to be. I think they're going to diselect him. He looks like he's going down.
Yeah, they did pass a resolution to withdraw him. What is it called? Unelect?
Recall him, yeah.
Well, you've got $17 billion missing, as you've noted, that the taxpayers ended up bailing out the banks, and yet the blame all falls on people who want to have a minimum wage and some benefits. The benefits are all going to the bankers and the top 1%.
They're giving themselves big bonuses out of that money.
Exactly.
Yeah, and of course, as you point out frequently, about 51% of our budget goes to the military, and those operations with our something like 800 bases around the world are taking the bulk of any surplus capital and putting counties and states and everything else in jeopardy. And that's one of the things we've been concerned with lately, and that is the nursing home and selling off the public assets.
Yeah, to balance the budget, a lot of counties are doing this. They're just selling things. The state is too. So, you know, the state's selling railroads and prisons and all kinds of
selling
things.
everything they can. They're selling roads in Chicago.
Roads?
So you can, if you want to put up a building, a road's in your way, you can buy it if you've got enough money. But
Next thing you put
But
up toll gates.
we're surprised to discover in our efforts recently that, in fact, a lot of the counties in this state, according to politicians here, are selling their nursing homes is not true. They are not selling their nursing homes. A number of the people who are retired nurses have called the county nursing homes in other counties in this state and are discovering that they're reinvesting in their nursing homes. They have a handicap because the competition, the private for-profit nursing homes and the not-for-profit nursing homes, are allowed by the state to erect and run assisted living facilities,
Sort
which
of
are
halfway houses.
halfway houses.
Yeah,
there are
for
many
the
levels.
sick. Yeah.
The assisted living facilities make a great deal of money and thereby support those skilled nursing beds for the very, very ill. So why is it that the nursing home that's owned by the county has a state law that prevents it from doing that? They could support themselves in spades and make a great deal of profit if they could actually do what private care facilities and not-for-profits can do.
So actually, the big hassle, well, the two big hassles in the county are, as far as I can see, that are upsetting people, exciting people, are the nursing home, the sale of it, and secondly, the budget deficit. We've got what I would call a tidal wave of budget deficit coming into this county now this year. And there's going to have to be a huge tax increase. We can't take them anymore.
well, that's the thing about this nursing home. This could really be a moneymaker. This is an extremely valuable piece of property. It's been maintained and kept up by the people of the county, and to sell it off prematurely, quickly, is to divest yourself of one of the best, most valuable properties that could be of long-term value to the people of this county.
Well, why doesn't the county do something sensible? I'm sure the county does once in a while. Jay Gould High. Maybe they could just set up a separate entity for the midway house, the halfway house,
Right.
and build it there.
They-
So it had nothing to do with our county home.
They
Right.
could lease it to a
Lease
private
it.
entity. They
Yeah.
could lease it. They don't have to sell it. That would work. There are other options. There's not just two ways. There are many more, 3 and 4, solutions to this situation. One thing we've discovered is the places that have sold their nursing homes for that quick profit, instant, end up having greater costs. The costs to the county actually rise in terms of unemployment compensation, Medicaid, because people fall back on the safety net. Spending in the community is reduced. It's an ironic situation that the fact is, actually, even your jail prices will go up because people, when they're unemployed, can't buy things. They are
They steal, and then they go
Right.
to jail.
They're-
$85,000 a year, thank you.
they go on welfare. These are all costs that are
There's-
incurred by the community if in fact you lose those sustainable jobs.
Something like 800 people are affected if this were to be sold, because you have something on the order of 200 people, staff working there. Many of them are fairly low paid, as you pointed out, Reed, low paid, but they do have benefits, and those benefits allow them to have a living, sustainable wage and stay in the community. And I would say the average is about 4. So you multiply 4 times 200, you got that, and then the subsequent detrimental effect to losing those jobs, 1,000 people. That's a real economic blow to the north part of the county.
So why is the county selling it? They say, well, we have to supplement it. I think, what is it, $4 million a year now or something? And they could
There's,
cut
Well,
back
those
on the
figures-
deficit a little bit by collecting, what do they want for it, a couple million or something?
I don't
For
know, but
the price of the county home?
it's been stated that it would only cost $45 a year more in any kind of taxes to to balance the budget, period, and then all these questions would be gone. But there are other ways to stop this leaking of money.